Accounts and audit are two very important functions within the realm of financial management. The CAG, that's the Comptroller and Auditor General, is a constitutional body. It's the supreme audit institution of the country. But it is also important to note that the ICAS, that's the Indian Civil Account Services, were established in 1976 after a historic reform in public finance administration. And therefore, the accounting and the auditing function of the union were separated. The CAG was divested of the accounting responsibilities consequent of that reform. 1st March is observed as the foundation day for the Indian Civil Account Services. And today, we are here at Govenrment, New Delhi, where the 40th Civil Account Services Day is being celebrated. On the occasion, the chief guest is Honorable President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee.
It is indeed my proud privilege to welcome the distinguished dignitaries on the dais, as well as each one of you, to the Civil Accounts Day 2016, to mark the 40th anniversary of the inception of the Indian Civil Accounts Service. We are extremely grateful to the Honorable President of India for acceding to our request to be the chief guest at this inaugural session. Sir, as Union Minister of State for Finance between 1975 to 1977, you were one of the key architects of the reform in public financial administration that separated the accounting function from audit in the Union government. It was a historical necessity. In his budget speech of 1976, the then Finance Minister, the late Shri C. Subramaniam, termed the proposed changes as, and I quote, of a magnitude unprecedented in the annals of Indian administration. Accounts and finance should form an integral part of overall management and should play a more meaningful and effective role in the selection of projects, allocation of funds, monitoring of expenditures in relation to physical progress, and evaluation of results. Close quote. The new departmentalized accounting system entered into force from March 1, 1976. It is for this reason that March 1 of each year is celebrated as Civil Accounts Day. Reforms in public financial management are a continuous process. Structural changes take place in the economy and in the functioning of government, which demand accounting data on public finances to be available to decision makers, often on real-time basis. This demand for faster information can only be met through the adoption of technology. Recognizing this need, the service has, since its inception, been a pioneer in the use of information technology in payments, accounting, and financial reporting. Introduction of e-payments through the banking system has facilitated prompt collections and payments. Presently, over 95% of total tax revenues and 90% of total payments of the government flow through the e-payment mode. Recently, the Honorable Finance Minister inaugurated the non-tax revenue portal that helps a citizen to make online payment for availing specific services provided by departments. The portal also helps the government to faster realize receipts due from public sector and undertakings, etc. On this special day, I remember an old saying in the accounting profession, and I quote, "What gets measured gets done," close quote. Our endeavor should be to use the most appropriate methodology to measure performance in order to ensure that we know what we are leaving for future generations in terms of assets and liabilities, and by making a beginning in intergenerational accounting.
The Union Finance Secretary Shri Ratan Wattal said that during the course of 4-decade journey of Indian Civil Account Services, management accounting function has become an integral part of various central ministries. He also said that the Public Financial Management System, thus the PFMS, has been a game changer.
40 years may not be a long time in the evolution of a service in the Indian administrative context. But what is important is to reflect on whether the service has achieved the objectives for which it was created. Undoubtedly, it has. The management accounting function is now well entrenched in the executive. Line ministries and departments today take complete responsibility for their spending decisions and the resultant outputs and outcomes of budget allocations voted by the Parliament. Prescribed timelines for closure of monthly and annual accounts are complied with. Financial reporting of in-year expenditures and revenue receipts are practically on real time. PFMS has become a game changer and has led to significant efficiency gains for the government. It is for this reason that the government intends to further strengthen the capacities and capabilities of PFMS and transform it into an integrated financial management information system, the IFMIS for short. The IFMIS will integrate various financial management components, including budgeting, sanction, generation of accounts, payments, revenue receipts, and financial reporting. There have been other systemic improvements of the PFM architecture. Due to time constraints, I will only highlight a recent achievement of the CGA in the faster submission of the Union accounts to Parliament. For the second time only since independence, the annual financial statements of 2014-15 of the Union government, duly audited by the CNAG, were laid in the Parliament within 8 months of the close of the financial year. This is a good practice that helps strengthen financial accountability of the executive to Parliament. I am glad that the CGA has in his address identified various challenges the service will face in the future. Improvements to accounting cuts across all elements of the public financial management. Inadequacies in the existing cash-based accounting system will need to be addressed so as to meet the demands of economic and financial management. The CGA has taken the initiative recently and has introduced the risk-based internal audit approach to assist line ministries to better evaluate and mitigate risks in the implementation of major national priority programs. This approach must be extended to all ministries at an early date. I am sure the service will successfully rise to address challenges of the future. They have done so in the past 40 years and are capable of doing so in the future, given commitment and effective leadership. Government financial management is perhaps at a crossroad where the ICAS can and should play an important role.
The internal audit function is a key component of the PFMS, and the Comptroller and Auditor General, Sri Shashikant Sharma, stressed that the Office of the Controller General of Accounts provides the first level of assurance to his office. He also said that the accounting standards need to be in tune with the international standards.
It is a matter of profound satisfaction that the organization of the CGA has made substantial strides in its work sphere. It has responded to the challenge thrown up by the increase in the size and complexity of government functions and has adapted well to the emerging challenges of information processing. The organization has kept pace with technological developments by introducing computerization for both the payment and accounting functions. For more than 15 years now, the CGA has been publishing monthly updates on the summary accounts of the central government, and progress made in the scheme-wise monitoring of expenditure, e-payments, non-tax revenue management also deserve special mention. However, a dynamic organization like CGA providing crucial services to the government in financial management cannot, and as mentioned by the CGA also, and I'm sure it should not rest on its laurels. I would emphasize that we have always had a very high degree of cooperation from the Comptroller General of Accounts and I hope that we will continue to work together to further improve the government accounting systems to enhance accountability mechanism in the government.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a short film that captures the essence of the good work done by the Office of the Controller General of Accounts and their commitment towards accountability, responsiveness and transparency that we would like to share with you all.
Committed to the Prime Minister's call for accountability, responsiveness and transparency, we make an art of management accounting. We are CGA, the Controller General of Accounts. We make a difference. From ancient times, enlightened rulers focused their attention on sound financial management and accounting, seeing both as vital to delivering good governance. After independence, the issue of separating accounting function from that of audit in the central government gained momentum due to inherent conflict of interest. In 1976, an Act of Parliament facilitated the separation of accounts and audit, leading to the creation of the Office of CGA. With a growing focus on development, the CGA began to immediately work towards strengthening public financial administration. Under the new system, the ownership of the payment and accounting functions in the Union government was now with the executive and not external to the government. As part of the Ministry of Finance, the Controller General of Accounts is tasked with establishing a sound management accounting system for the central government. Every month, CGA presents a review of Union government accounts to the Finance Minister. This review enables decision makers in monitoring the implementation of government schemes, in deciding the need for increased funding in key areas, supplementary demands for grants, and even mid-year course corrections. CGA is responsible for consolidation and submission of the monthly and annual accounts of the Union government, including defence, railways, posts, telecom, and 5 union territories and all central civil ministries and departments. In accounting, 2 parameters matter: accuracy and timeliness. Accounts prepared by CGA score high on both counts. The accounts for 2014-15 were placed in Parliament before the close of the calendar year 2015, a feat achieved only once before since independence. In 1990, the CGA was given the added responsibility of increasing efficiency in pension payouts. The Central Pension Accounting Office was created as a direct result. Today, we serve over 1.1 million pensioners from 42 central pension processing centers, coordinating payments through 60,000 bank branches. The manual entry system of the 70s was cumbersome and consequently inefficient. This created delays in all manner of payments, whether for government programs, payrolls, or even pensions. Therefore, from inception, CGA has been committed to increased automation and modernization as it seeks to create a leaner and more efficient accounting system. Developing a vision for digitization of accounts from as early as 1978, CGA began using mainframes in conjunction with manual accounting. Over the next few decades, various IT applications were developed and implemented. In 2011, the process culminated in the path-breaking Government Electronic Payment Gateway. It facilitated electronic payments for the government.